Welcome to the next lecture on transformations of random variable. In unit 2 we have two parts. In the first part we learn about moments, moment generating function and characteristic function. Whereas in the second part is transformation of random variables. So transformation of random variables means if you want to transform from one variable to another variable. In general it is common when you do the calculations in quadratic functions, that is polynomial functions. So you will just substitute one variable in place of another variables. For example, I want to represent a variable in terms of another variable, then we transform it, isn't it? So we substitute and then we'll transform it. But here it's not a normal variable, but it is a random variable. So for a random variable satisfying its properties, how will you transform from one to another? So the most important part in transformation is it has to follow the function. Whether if I transform from one variable to another variable, is it following the same pattern or a different pattern? So here we have two types of transformations. One is monotonically increasing or decreasing and non-monotonic functions. So let us first go through about monotonic functions. Monotonic function, you can see the definition over here, is a function whose first derivative does not change signs. So it doesn't change the sign, thus it is always decreasing or always increasing. So what does it mean? It is actually not changing the pattern of increasing or decreasing, or always constant, but not more than one of these. So the same, so if x is, for example, if I write y is equal to 2x plus 3, it is actually in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So c, y intercept is 3 and slope is 2. So you can write, so here the y intercept is actually 3 in between 2 and 4 and the slope is actually 2. So you can see that this is a straight line, either it is increasing or decreasing. So that is actually monotonic function. The f, actually the function will not change its property. So that is actually a monotonic function. Coming to a non-monotonic function, the exactly the reverse. So in the case of non-monotonic function whose first derivative changes signs. So how will you identify it? Using the first derivative. So in monotonic functions it doesn't change the sign, but whereas in non-monotonic the first derivative changes the sign. Thus it is increasing or decreasing for some time and shows opposite behavior at a different location. So that means what? It doesn't follow the input. If I take x as input and y as output, so if output follows input, it is monotonic function. If output doesn't follow the input, then it is called as non-monotonic function. The interesting characteristic is that it increases or decreases for some time, but it shows opposite behavior at a different location. So at some cutoff, maybe at some cutoff region, after that it may change its behavior. For example, the quadratic function y is equal to x square. So we know the pattern of y is equal to x square. It increases drastically. Is a classical example of simple non-monotonic function. So for a non-monotonic function, on certain intervals this function may be monotonic, but on others like minus 2 comma 2. So you can see at minus 2 comma 2, at this point it is non-monotonic. So the function is like this, it is slowly decreasing and then it is increasing. So that is an example of non-monotonic function. And coming to a small example, so we learn it by transforming from one variable to another variable. Let us see monotonic transformations first. So normally here the complete concept is about how will you transform from one variable to another variable using its distribution function and density function. So you have to just see what is it is simple to transform from one variable to another variable, just substitution. It's a mere substitution. Whereas here, if suppose the density function of a particular random variable has a function, then how will you calculate its respective distribution? And how will you calculate its respective density function? So that is actually we are going to see in the complete part of transformations. So here let us go through a simple example. Let x be a random variable with the cumulative distribution function. So this is your distribution function fx of x, and density function is normally an italic fx of x. So let y is equal to ax plus b. So this is your function. So always there will be a relation between y and x that will be given in the question, where a and b are real constants and a is not equal to 0. Find the CDF. So he is asking you to calculate the density function of y in terms of x. Similarly, the density distribution function of y in terms of x. So here we use a popular relation between distribution and density. That is your once you know one of the thing, you can either go for derivative or do the integral, and then you can transform from one variable to another variable. But how will you calculate its distribution? Once you know the distribution, it is mere just do the differentiation, then you will get the density function. So just see this example. So y is equal to x plus, in the case of y is equal to ax plus b, here depending on a you see the, because it's slope. So depending on the slope, if slope is positive you have a pattern, and if slope is negative you have a different pattern. So coming to if a is greater than 0, so that means if it is positive. So in the case of positive, how will you write its distribution? See, there are many ways to transform from one variable to another variable. I use a simple terminology here. Just go with the definition of distribution function. You know fy of y, any distribution function definition is like this. The moment you write distribution function fy of y or fx of x, it is nothing but probability of y less than or equal to small y. See, this is random variable and this is an outcome or an event in y. So y less than or equal to small y. So just substitute in the place of y ax plus b. So if you substitute ax plus b, it is again less than or equal to y. Just substitution. Y in the place of y, you have put y, ax plus b. Now just transfer this b variable to right side. So ax less than or equal to y minus b. So x will be less than or equal to y minus b by a. So as simple as that. So you know, so just think that this is a constant. So x is less than or equal to some x. Then how will, what is that? It is fx of x. So fx of y minus b by a. This is nothing but the distribution of y. So you are transforming your distribution of y and you are writing it in terms of y. That's all. And see, you can see the figure of that. Y when a is greater than 0. So when a is greater than 0, it is positive slope. So you can see positive slope. Y is equal to ax plus b. So x is equal to, so this is, let us assume x is equal to y minus b by a as this location. And similarly now, when you can see for a less than 0, the same relation doesn't hold. So the same thing, p of y less than or equal to y, substitute y, which is ax plus b less than or equal to y. And here when you take less than or equal to y, see, please see that it is less than or equal to y. But when a is negative, what happens to ax is equal to y minus b? Ax less than or equal to y minus b. But when a is negative, your x will become greater than or equal to y minus b by a, because it is negative. So how will you write down this in terms of distribution function? I can write only if it is x less than or equal to some constant, because that is the definition of distribution function. So you can write this as, can I write p of x as 1 minus p of x like this, 1 minus p of x less than y minus b by a. So this is correct. So when you write 1 minus p of x less than y minus b by a, can I write this as fx of x? No, it should be less than or equal to. So for that, I am writing 1 minus p of x less than or equal to y minus b by a plus p of x is equal to y minus b by a. So this can be written. minus and then plus, so that this term gets cancelled and you will be left off with x less than y minus b by a. So this is nothing but fx of x, so fx of y minus b by a plus p of x is equal to y minus b by a. So you just have to know what is this value. Can I write it as fx? No. Then what is it? For a continuous random variable, you know that if you recall, x is equal to a particular point can be represented as fx of that minus fx minus. So till that value, so this is equal to 0. Continuous random variable, always the probability of a particular instant, particular event is always equal to 0. As a function, you have a cumulative one, but as an individual point, it will be 0. So you will be left off only with 1 minus fx of y minus b by a. So differentiate, then this is only distribution. So you have the distribution now as one is fx of y minus b by a, and another one is 1 minus fx of y minus b by a. So when it is when a is less than 0, you can see that this is the line y is equal to ax plus b, x is equal to y minus b by a, and this is y because slope is negative. And what happens to the density function now? If you differentiate on both sides, you will get the density function. So you know capital fy of y is equal to 1 minus fx of y minus b by a less than 0. So if you differentiate, capital Fy of y becomes fy of y. This is a density function which is equal to 1 by mod a. Why it is mod a? Differentiation of a constant is 0, and minus fx of y minus b by a is small, that is density function fx of y minus b by a into what is the differentiation of y minus b by a? It is minus, it is just 1 by a. When a is negative, this is the case. Okay, so it is minus 1 by a, or it can be, if you take a greater than 0, it can be 1 by a, that's all, positive, because you have seen the other one as fx of y minus b by a. This is when you do the differentiation, you get fx of y minus b by a multiplied by 1 by a. It is positive. So that's why I have taken magnitude over there. It is 1 by mod a fx of y minus b by a. So this is how you calculate the distribution and density for transforming one variable to another. Thank you. Next lecture we'll go with